What's good, YouTube? Crown Jewel from Crown Jewel Boxing, back with a gem. Got a minute after between my morning runs, so I wanted to come on to respond to the presser number 2 for Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr., which happened on yesterday at the legendary Howard University in Washington, D.C. Being as though Tank is a Baltimore native, Lamont Roach is a D.C. native, we all know that there's a rivalry between the two cities. Tank let it be known that does not apply to him. He considers D.C. home, as he had to go through D.C. to get to the regionals and nationals as an amateur, and they all come up together. He actually went as far as to say Lamont Roach and his dad are family. But when the tough talk started and Lamont's people started yapping from the crowd, he let them know, y'all know how I get, and y'all only making it worse for him. Meaning, the more y'all talk, the more pressure I'm applying on him. It was good to see. Like I said, it's also good to see that they were respectful. I don't always want to see them stage fake fights and insults to build a fight. I think the boxing public is more intelligent than that. And us that, have participated in the sport and still have ties to the sport, understand that most fighters actually get along and like each other. I don't really think they got to WWE it up to see a good fight. Actually, what it looks like to me is Tank is giving somebody that he goes way back with and respects a great deal an opportunity to change their life. And, who can hate on that? Not me. You know what I'm saying? Ray Leonard and Wilfredo Benitez were once brother-in-laws, and they fought for a world title. And Benitez was actually stopped in a very entertaining and competitive fight. So just because a fight is a friendly does not mean that it's not going to be a good fight. And again, like I said, I think the boxing public's intelligent enough to understand that they don't have to manufacture fake beefs in order to make a fight sell. With that being said, the major dark cloud or question looming over the both pressers, with all the rumors and innuendo and things that have been made up about Gervonta Tank Davis's camp and his relationship with his coach, Coach Calvin Ford, is where in the hell was Calvin Ford during the presser? The Rise podcast sprinkled a little gasoline on the fire when they had Calvin on after the first presser in New York, in which Coach Calvin did not attend, and they asked Coach Calvin would he be at the next one. He was like, I don't know, y'all have to wait and see. Of course, the next one happened. He was not on stage. Tank was up there with somebody that worked for GTD Promotions, I forget the guy's name, who did not speak. Lamont Roach Sr. did speak, which, again, kind of fanned the flames and made people more skeptical as to where Coach Calvin Ford was. But to those of us that actually paid attention, I can give you a clear answer as to where Calvin Ford was, at least on yesterday. And that was front and center in the first row of the spectators. And at the completion of the press conference, if you look closely, you can see him stand up with his glasses and his signature hat. Also, as Tank is exiting the presser, he walks by Coach Calvin Ford, realizes he walked past him, turns around, they embrace. Coach Calvin kisses him on the cheek. They talk, both of them are smiling ear to ear. And what that leads me to believe, or leads me to say to you guys, is leave it alone. You don't know what you're talking about. Coach Calvin Ford and Tank Davis are fine. If you remember back some years back when Floyd was trying to get Tank to move to Vegas and, in an attempt to get him out of Baltimore, Tank was adamant. He was adamant about training with his coach and staying with Calvin Ford. I don't even know why anybody would want to see that relationship fractured. It's well storied, some of the things, the struggles that Tank has dealt with in his life as a youngster. The lack of a male role model. When they talk about how Coach Calvin's son took a liking to Tank first, who was now deceased, may he rest in peace. And Coach Calvin took over when his son moved back to Jersey. And they seem to have a beautiful relationship. They seem to genuinely love each other. So I don't understand why anybody would want to see that fractured, especially from a guy that has dealt with so much in his life in Gervonta Tank Davis anyway. But it is what it is. Boxing has become cultish. And once you're a part of one cult or following one fighter, I guess you got to wish absolute doom on the other fighter, which I think is ridiculous. But again, Gervonta Tank Davis and Coach Calvin are absolutely fine. We all know that Tank, gets irritated, as most fighters do, get irritated when they're preparing for a fight. They're under a lot. There's a lot going on. While they're still dealing with real life, I don't put too much stock in what fighters say, in training camp when it comes to, when they get emotional or angry. But I do believe he intends to leave the sport pretty soon. I don't think he's capping with that. He's been saying it for some time now. And, when he started talking about wanting to, be a better version of himself for his kids and wanting to be a family man and be more humble. We know he converted to Islam. You can't do nothing but, accept that and be happy for that man. A lot of people who have never participated in boxing don't understand that in being a good guy, many times you've had to change who you are or become something else when you enter that boxing ring, and that becomes tiresome. Some people grow tired of that, especially guys like Tank Davis, who've been doing it since he was 8, 9 years old. So I don't hate on that. I don't think he's capping. I don't think he's trying to, push sales by saying he's ready to leave. I think he's probably ready to leave. Most guys that have, most people that have done stuff, for 20 plus years do grow tired of it, just like any other career. So, he just happens to be special at it. Just because you're gifted at something don't mean you would like to do it forever. And hopefully, he's made and saved enough money to where he can comfortably walk away from the sport on his own terms and not be retired like a lot of the other fighters when they're, scratching and clawing for a couple of dollars because they burned through, everything they've made in their heyday. So hats off to him for that. But to the YouTube community, boxing fans out there, stop looking for drama where there is none. Stop thinking or you need to know everything that's going on within these fighters' camps. All you need to know is that they show up, they fight, they give you their 110%, they put on an entertaining show for us to enjoy. And beyond that, it's really none of our business. That's all I have for y'all right now. Until next time, keep your hands up, your chin down, your ass off the floor. Peace.